So while everyone's paying attention to Signalgate, there's another story about the national security team for Trump and Musk and how their cellular devices are very likely at risk. So Der Spiegel, one of the biggest, if not the biggest papers in Germany, they just came out with a report about how a bunch of members of the national security team, the same people who were in that Signal thread where they were talking about battle plans to attack the Houthis, that information like their phone numbers, their passwords, their usernames are available on the internet. Now, this is something that affects like almost everyone. I mean, I've had my personal data leak online. The Chinese hacked the OPM and got all of my data related to my military service, my secret security clearance. There have been a bunch of corporations that had my data that have been hacked. So the fact that their information is available online is not really that big of a story. But what is a big story is that some of these individuals are using the same devices that had their numbers leak online. And Der Spiegel went and plugged in those numbers, again, that are publicly available online, into Signal and saw that they're using Signal on those devices. So if you were Russia or China or Iran or some other sophisticated foreign adversary, or if you were a stateless chaos agent who just wanted to bring down the US government, and you heard about all of these nominations and you saw that a lot of these people are idiots, you might be motivated to take that information that's publicly available and use it for targeted hacking and phishing campaigns. So whether it's J.D. Vance or Tulsi Gabbard or Pete Hegseth, these people are using commercially available apps to communicate about top secret information related to troop movements and attacks on foreign adversaries. There is a non-zero chance that they are using personal devices that have been compromised already. Now, I get that the messaging on the Democratic side is saying, oh, well, if Pete Hegseth had any integrity, he would resign. Like he's being chosen as the one who needs to take the fall. I think this is stupid. And frankly, I think the Democrats are normalizing the absurd here by saying, like, if he had any integrity, he would resign. They shouldn't even demand resignations. They should be impeaching everyone who is in that thread, who has a Senate-confirmed position, anyone who's an appointee. It's not just presidents and it's not just judges that can get impeached. Whether it's the DNI, the Secretary of Defense, the Vice President, doesn't matter. Democrats should be moving forward right now with impeachment. And as for Democrats who are, getting ready for the 2028 presidential election, they need to start talking about how they are going to make sure that the law is enforced. Yes, I know Donald Trump is probably on his way out the door, going to issue blanket pardons to absolutely everybody. But we are witnessing an extraordinary abuse of power, and we are watching felony after felony after felony. So the next Democratic administration needs to be willing to have that fight with the Supreme Court. I think after what we've seen with Donald Trump, maybe the president should not have an absolute pardon power, because we cannot trust America to elect someone who isn't overtly corrupt. That is what happened when Donald Trump was elected the first time, and it was far worse this second time. So Democrats need to be talking about impeachment and indictments. Pam Bondi's not going to do anything. The Republican House and the Republican-controlled Senate are not going to allow an impeachment or removal from office, but the Democrats need to start working on this anyway. And FBI agents and district attorneys around the country should be working very quietly and very hard to gather and preserve as much evidence of this lawless activity as possible. Because ultimately, as much as I want these people to go to jail, they deserve a fair hearing in court, and that requires evidence. They're probably using Signal because of the automatic deleting of messages, so we may never get those from their actual devices. But FBI agents, districts attorneys, other investigators who have a lawful duty to protect the United States, to engage in these types of investigations, they should be working their asses off. Justice may be delayed, but we're not going to let it be denied.